Good evening and welcome to the Electronic Revolutions Broadcasting Network 2142 Community News, where tonight we're going to talk a little bit about everything that has to do with 2142. We're going to we're going to talk about all the different leagues for competition, TWL, Cal, TGL, and Army Gaming League. Tonight we're going to have a full cast. This is Anger. I'm going to have Daddy Fat Sacks. We're also going to have e-rev Strider. We're going to have Cornut, Bamando, and also we're going to have predictions, the 6v6 from Baron, and also 8v8s from CERN 1. Tonight we're going to talk about the hot topic of the last 2 weeks. We're going to talk about hacking, and we're going to go a little bit with that subject. We're going to have an AC admin directly from TWL. We're going to have Casio talking about that. We're also going to have Bamando talking about the in-game information, and he'll give more information on that. And we're also going to talk about the TPE tournament coming up and within a month or so, and we're going to have Eagle Eyes talking about that. So let's just jump right into it. And again, on video or also on sound, we're going to have Limek. All right, we're going to start this out. We're going to talk about predictions, and tonight we're going to start out with Baron with his Baron's Block 6v6 TGL Fast Attack predictions. How's it going, Baron?
How's it going, everybody?
All right, so there's going to be some interesting matchups as we go into Week 8, and well, we'll let you take it away, Baron, and tell us what you have.
All right, well, let me get up here. First, we've got basically narrowed it down to 7 teams that are playing this week. First one being Rival Game against Hot 5.
Turn your mic up.
Is this better?
Yeah, sorry.
Beautiful. All right. Rival, I mean, we even got the anti-cheat Casio in here, but Rival, they're a strong team. They've got amazing infantry. They've got really good teamwork. They practice like crazy. They're probably the only team I've ever seen that, puts the dedication into the into the stratting and everything like that. But I mean, they've just got some crazy infantry with Casio and fucking Mav, and pretty much their whole team. They don't really have a weakness. So they are playing Hot 5, and Hot 5, they've been struggling, and they don't seem. I think they quit the AV8 roster, I believe, for Cal and TGL. But like I said, Hot 5, they lost all their guys, Zalox and I don't really know off the top of my head, but they lost a lot of guys from Hot 5. But I'm expecting Rival to pretty much crush this team, unfortunately, 2-0.
All right, what do you have next on the plate there, Baron?
All right, and matchup 2 is probably going to be the match of the week if everybody votes for it. But it'll be NGA versus Massive Unit, and again, NGA, they played last week 8v8 against Rubik's, and they came up short, but I still have confidence in them. They've got a lot of great players. They're the only team I think that can give Rival a run for their money. And they're playing, like I said, MU, and MU they had some roster issues about a month ago, but they've still stayed strong. They still got some good players. And I
Stay Fat Sacks.
I don't think they feel they feel hippies, but either way, I think NGA's just pure infantry and pure strategy is going to easily take over MU. Unfortunately, I hate to say that about MU, but MU just had some roster issues, and I think NGA is going to take that into as well.
All right.
The third matchup will be, again, it might be another match of the week. Depending on the votes, it'll be Zero Tolerance versus Apex Gaming. And Zero Tolerance, they're about an average team. I know Vader and glitched. They're all over the forums, but I think they're pretty good, and they practice like crazy. They practice like rival. They're really consistent with their practicing, and that's paying off for them. As you can see, their record's pretty decent. I think they're 4-2. But Apex, they're really not an active team anymore. I think they split off from B-side a while ago, and they really shit hit the fan when it comes to being active in this game. And I think that although they really don't strat much and they don't practice much, so I'm expecting Apex to take it in 3, just because their guns are still good even though they're not active, and I think that's going to give them the edge. So I'm going to give that one to Apex 2-1 over Zero Tolerance. And matchup 4, it's going to be my team, Renegades at War, versus Lithium. Should have been match of the week, but anger. I won't say anything about that, but basically here at Raw we've had some roster issues. We actually lost to Mad a couple days ago, 4v5. But I'm hoping we can field a solid roster. We've been practicing like crazy. We're trying to get as prepared as we can, because if we lose this match, we know we're in trouble for playoffs. I'm sure Elysium's thinking the same. I know they got some really good infantry. They're a good team. They're beginning to strap more and practice more and scrim more. So I'm expecting to have a really, really tough fight with them. And I won't predict this one, because I predicted that we would 2-0 TG7 last week and they beat us. So I'm not going to say anything on that. I'll let you guys predict that one. Matchup 5 is a little lopsided. You got FMJ, Full Metal Jacket, versus 82nd Infantry Division. 82nd, they're really more of a pub all-star team. They really don't practice. They don't take competition very seriously. They're just in it for the fun. Full Metal Jacket, they're getting better. They got they picked up a few new recruits, Aegis, and although they don't have the best guns in the world, they definitely make it up on strategy. And they took a hard loss to Apex last week, but it didn't shatter their spirits, because they're still stratting, they're still practicing, and they're still going hardcore when it comes to practicing and, like I said, stratting. And I think they'll pretty much dominate 82nd and 2-0 pretty quickly. And matchup 6 will be a Vibe Sonic Boom versus the Armory, and this actually might be the match of the week from the votes. I haven't looked at the votes lately, but I believe this might be the match of the week by popular demand. I can't say much about Armory. I don't really know about them very much, but Vibe, I know they got a really good 8v8 roster. They really practice a lot in 8v8, and they're a pretty solid team when it comes to infantry. And I expect them to pretty much dominate the Armory as well, because I don't think Armory is very active either when it comes to practicing, stratting, stuff like that. So I expect Vibe to pretty much take that one 2-0. And matchup 7 will be Gun to Hell versus Team Crimson. And Crimson, they're like Apex. They got some really good guns. They've got really good teamwork. They just don't really practice. I see them pub here and there. They scrim once or twice a week, but they don't really have the dedication they used to back 2 months ago. Gun to Hell, same thing. They really don't have much of a regular practice schedule or anything like that, and they don't have the experience Crimson has. So I'm expecting the Crimson to pretty much dominate them as well. 2-0. And that's it.
All right, Baron, I appreciate all the work into that. And, one of the matches that has the most votes, as you were talking about, is the Vibe match. And that may be getting casted on Tuesday night, 6v6 at 10:30 Eastern. So make sure that you guys stay tuned for that. So now we're going to change it on over to the 8v8 section. And we're going to bring in CERN here, and we're going to have CERN Sandbox right now. What's up, buddy?
What's going on, man?
Not much, man. Just a little bit here and there, just getting this community news going. But go ahead, shoot your predictions off, sir. What do you see for 8v8s?
Yeah, I'm not going to take as long as some other baritone baddies that take forever just to talk about 6v6. No, I'm only kidding around. But I'm just to let everyone know, I'm the original prediction person. Baron came in and tried to do his own thing with Baron's block, and I give him credit for it, but still no sir. Alright, anyway, getting into this, I have Rubik's versus Origin as our first matchup. There's a lot of weird 8v8s here because they're very obscure. I think they're trying to seed out the teams for playoffs, but anyway, Origin has been really striding and practicing a lot lately, but the thing is that they've only been scrimming against Rubik's, who they're actually playing this week. But I'm going to actually have to give this one to Origin in 2 if TGL can lay down the banhammer in time on his 2 baddies that we're here to talk about tonight. So much for that. Anyway, next we got Wolfpack versus Mad Gamers. Mad Gamers lost pretty much one of their only good players due to reasons that everyone here knows. And I think they've really fallen off infantry-wise because of it. And this is a very infantry-based map. And I don't think they're going to have a little bit of trouble here. They're still going to take it in probably about 2. Maybe if Wolfpack can pull something off, take a round from them. We'll see what happens, but I still think that Mad has the gas to take this from Wolfpack in 2. Next up, we got Elysium versus Zero Tolerance, which is, in my opinion, the match of the week. Zero Tolerance right now is at the top of the AGC ladder. They've been playing a lot. Elysium has been scrimming quite often lately, but from what I've heard, that Zero Tolerance's infantry isn't up to par, I guess you could say, as much as Elysium's is. But we'll see how that turns out. But that's definitely my match of the week vote. Both teams are really strong, really great guys. I think it would be an interesting match to watch. Very action-packed. Next up, we got TG7th versus Death Before Dishonor. From what I heard, TG7th has gotten a lot better infantry-wise. From what I heard, they were smacking around Goodspeed in a pug the other day, which kind of made me laugh. Goodspeed thinks he's the best gamer in the world. But DBD impressed me with their 6v6 action last week, even with Fatal's stacked roster. So we'll see how that turns out. That should be pretty interesting to watch. That'll be the second match of the week vote for me, in my opinion. Next and last, we have Mace versus K-Thanks Bot. KTB is a really strong team as far as 8v8, and they have a lot of strong armor, but I don't think they have the infantry to back it up, which is something that I think they should work on more. Maybe do a couple of 6v6s, even though I don't even think they're in the 6v6 league. Try to step up their game a little bit as infantry. Mace has really strong infantry and decent armor, but there is no really armor in this on this map. Like I said before, it's very infantry based, so I believe Mace is probably going to take this away from KTB in 2, unfortunately, even though I have a lot of friends over at KTB. I have a lot of friends at Mace too. So it's pretty unfortunate that I don't think KTB has the infantry to take down Mace this week, but we'll see. Maybe I'm wrong. I usually am about 50% of the time, so. And that's it. I'm not going to take up any more time because I want to get into this hacking thing. Should be a lot more fun to talk about.
Yeah, we appreciate that, Cern. And also, I just want to take it a step further on the 8v8s. I guess in the forums, I'm not going to say any names, but the Strikeforce Rangers were adding extra additional people in for the voting. And we have Elysium against Zero Tolerance as the default match. That's because the admin had to step in, the league admin from TGL. So again, people, we give you guys a chance to pick the match you want, and sometimes some people want to take advantage, and hopefully this doesn't happen again. Otherwise, unfortunately, we may have to go to a dictatorship on that and just pick a match. I try to give you guys the options to vote for who do you want to see, and You guys took it to another level on that one. But I'm sure you guys won't. But anything, guys, that you want to talk about real quick in 6v6, 8v8s, Fatty, Bamando, Strider, anything that catches your eye before we go to the next topic?
As far as the 8v8 stuff goes, meh, move on.
8v8 for the loss.
Well, anything that catches your guys' eye in 6v6, though?
Yeah, NJ versus MU.
I think that'll be a decent matchup. I think that if Hot 5, if they still had their whole starting roster, that versus Rival would be a good match, but they're off doing the QuakeCon thing, all that, and the rest of the guys kind of just fizzled out, including myself. So, yeah, I guess MU versus NGA will be probably one of the more entertaining matches.
I'm going to have to say Hot 5 would probably do better if they didn't kick off certain people.
All right, well, we're going to go on to the next topic. We're going to talk a little bit about the leagues out there pertaining to 2142. And we're going to talk about, well, obviously TGL, and handling that will be Bamando and Fat Sacks. Bamando will be handling the, I believe, the sixes. Is that correct, Bamando?
That's right.
All right, and Fat Sacks will be handling the 8v8s. And why don't you take that, Bamando, for TGL?
Right, we have... I'll just run through the standings pretty quickly. It's pretty straightforward at this stage. There was a large shuffle on both 8v8 and 6v6 standings due to the demise of MAD earlier on, who had a few of their matches overturned. That resulted in a quick rise for Massive Unit and a couple of other teams who had matches against them. Top teams that MAD had taken out managed to actually jump up in the standings pretty quickly. So, number one, we have NGA, who have played out all of their matches without a forfeit at this stage. You've got Massive Unit, who are also undefeated at this stage, who have one forfeit win. Rival Gaming, number 3, also undefeated, 7-0 with 2 forfeit wins. Team Hot 5 at 6-1. Team TG 7th, number 5, at 6-1 also with 2 forfeit wins. Apex at 6. Elysium position 7. Renegades at War are 5-2. We're now moving on to a big block of 5-2 teams with Zero Tolerance at 5-2. UPG, United Polish Gallantry, 5-2. Virulent Gamers, 5-2. Also Team Fatal at the same standings. Then we back up with the 4-win teams with the Armory with 4 wins, 2 losses. Severed Extremities, 4-3, Sonic Boom, 4-3, Gunned to Hell, 4-3. And then just outside of a current playoff spot are Team Crimson and Full Metal Jacket, both 4-3. So it's going to be an interesting matchup. This week's going to decide the fate, I think, of you've got 4 teams there at least that have a playoff spot on the line with Gunned to Hell, Team Crimson, Full Metal Jacket and Sonic Boom. So I'd say that's going to be pretty interesting. Then again, we also have Origin, 82nd Infantry, PMSH2O, Sidekicks and Eta Carinae, who are all on 4 wins as well. This is going to be a real close matchup. We do have a few forfeit winners on the 4-win teams there, so I've got to say that there's going to be a real tight matchup this week. It's pretty much win for those teams or not make it to playoffs.
Right. It's going to be very interesting as we go into this Week 8. A lot of playoff positioning and seeding taking place. And some are going to be going home fishing, and some are going to just probably sneak right in there, Bamando. It's going to be very, very interesting. All right, we're going to talk about the 8v8s. And Fat Sacks, for TGL, what do you have?
For TGL 8v8s, there's one undefeated team, which is Team Rubik's. They're 7-0. And we have a mini announcement, although it doesn't pertain to TGL yet, but I have a feeling that's going to change, the 7-0. The next up is 2 teams are 6-1 right now. That's NGA and Origin. And back to the first team, I think one of those teams is going to be 7-0 soon. The Armory right now is 5-0. Looks like they jumped in 2 weeks ago. KTB, Mace, Elysium, MU, Infantry US, TG 7th, Violent Industries and Hot 5 are all 5-2, but I believe Hot 5 has dropped the ladder so far, so are the league right now, so they're out of that. And then coming in at 4-3 is ZT, Severed Extremities, SFR, DBD, and Defeated Warriors. So those are the teams that are going to be looking at a playoff spot here for TGL 8v8 Season 2.
Yeah, Fatty, I believe Hot 5 did drop the 8v8s, but they are still contending in the 6v6s. I believe they have a roster. Is that correct, Strider?
I'm sorry about that. My cat dumped my beer over. What was the question?
No, I
foul.
believe yeah, tell them to drink twice. I believe that Hot 5 just dropped the 8v8s, but they're still contending for 6v6. Is that correct?
Dropped 8v8 because, like I said before, everyone is going to QuakeCon and doing that kind of stuff and focusing on other things. The 6v6 roster is almost completely different, except I know Rope is still around off and on, and I believe Mystic is kind of running it. I think SVT came back, but that's pretty much all from the old roster right now.
All right, thank you. All right, well, something new that we just found out about 10 minutes prior to this cast, and Cornet, you're covering Cal. Oh, go ahead, Patty.
I was actually really hoping to announce this.
Well, yeah. Well, this is Cornet's stage right here, so we'll head him over to Cal now. We're going to talk about Cal 8v8s, and Cornet, you're going to, like I said, we just found out something. Why don't you just let the news out and talk about 2142 in Cal?
I will. I'll just first go over the standings here, though. I'm just going to go over the teams with winning records right now for Cal. We have Massive Unit leading the pack at 6-1 with no forfeit wins, and their one loss actually was to Hot 5, but you know they're no longer in Cal, so they're pretty much up there all alone. Falling behind them also with the 6-1 record is Rubik's, and then we have the 5-2 guys. There's 4 teams. We have Rage, Mad Gamers, KTB, and Elysium. And following up them with 4-3 records, we have quite a few of them, which obviously not all of them are going to make it, but we have Apex, Mace, Origin, FAV, Zero Tolerance, and Infantry US, all with the 4-3 record. So right now the top 8, you have Mace Mob holding on to that 8th spot, but Origin right behind them, you know, not knowing what's going to happen with this Rubik's. I think they might be moving up there and might actually have that 8th spot. Now, the thing with Rubik's, Cal actually did ban one of Rubik's players for aimbotting, which is going to be a topic here as soon as we're done with the leagues, but it was Tronzy, and we will be talking more in depth on that soon.
All right, I appreciate that, Cornet. And I'm going to be talking about TWL. All right, I'm going to go through it really quick here on just the top teams in each particular ladder. So right now I'm going to start it off with the 5v5 ladder. NGA is coming in with a record of 15-1, so they're doing a nice job there, holding onto their number 1 spot. And for 8v8 Conquest, we have Team Who with a record of 24-3, very impressive there. With the 8v8 Infantry only, we have Raw going 7-0 right now. And for the 12v12 Titan ladder, yes, I did say, you guys, I know you guys haven't gotten any love lately, but here it is. We have Apotheosis going 16-1 in the 12v12 Titan. And also there's 2 leagues going on for TWL right now. We have the 8v8 league, and K, Thanks Spy, is going and heading that off at a 6-1 record. And the 5v5 is just kicking off. I believe they're in their 2nd week in preseason, and they should be jumping off really soon. All right, for the next league, I'll be also covering the Army Gaming League. In the 8v8 ladder, I'm just going to go over the top 5 teams that are being really active right now. We have Zero Tolerance going 8-3. We have Origin going 5-1. We have Next Generation Army going 4-0 at the number 3 spot. In the number 4 spot, really an unknown Kane's Lair going 2-8. And heading off the top 5, we have Nemesis going 3-1. So that covers pretty much all the leagues for 2142 that are relevant at the moment. So Hope you enjoyed that, and also the prediction. Now we're going to get into something maybe a little tabooish a little bit, but we're going to talk about hacking. Now, before we get into it, I've been reading the forums and whatnot, and we're going to try to give this in a neutral manner. We're not going to do the witch hunt and anything of that matter. We're just going to give the facts for people that do not know what to look for, and hopefully this will be more informative as much as anything for you people, because I know some of you lesser, or the teams that are starting out in leagues, they're not familiar with what they're looking for and whatnot. And so hopefully we have Casio to clear that up. We have a TWL AC admin, Casio, in here, and he's going to show us a video that happened in the past, I believe last season, and he's also going to show us some screenshots and kind of explain what you're looking at and whatnot. So I'd like to get in Casio right now. What's going on, Casio?
Hey, how you guys doing?
All right. Well, we're going to start off about hacking a little bit, and try to set the people straight on what they're looking for, what's a myth, what's real, and hopefully we can at least try to clear this up as much as possible. And I know you may get some riff on this, Casio, but remember, people, this is only his opinion through his experience in doing this, so no backlash. We're just trying to do our best and to give you the information. So Casio, you want to head on off with that?
Yeah, sure. The first thing I want to show here is a video. It happened last season, I believe, in the TGL Northern Strike tournament between OMG and Team Hot. So, Flymac, you want to roll that video? What it pretty much shows is, let me load it up here, is Team OMG. They're using, obviously, an aimbot and auto-aim with the support gun. It's very similar to some videos that have been posted on the forums. It's pretty hard to deny hacking in this video just because it's so blatant. You can see he's toggling back and forth automatically after he gets a kill with the support gun. He's just following him non-stop with his crosshair and pretty much owning. I mean, Hot was able actually to pull out a win because, they were hacking, but they were also really stupid players, so thankful for that. But you can look at this video. I don't know how Linex is going to roll it there. The next thing I want to get into is some examples of screenshots.
Well, real quick, Cassie, before you go into the screenshots, so we give Limex some time to get those up. Basically, are these the hacks that you're talking about that were on the video right now? Are those like the most prevalent ones now that people are using from these various sites?
I would say they're the most obvious. Obviously, most times when you buy a package or whatever from a hacking site, it comes with multiple hacks. It's up to the user how obvious or not obvious they use them. I mean, some players, they can just aim at their target and then toggle to the person's, head hitbox and take them out. Or you can do what OMG's doing here, which is pretty much just 180 toggling all over the map. It's the ones that are they use them less obvious that usually stick around and end up in competition.
Now, just real quick, is the toggling, is that the snapping motion one where they can just snap and hit on target? Is that correct?
That's correct. There's two ways they can do that snapping motion. One is by pressing a button that toggles to a player, and another one is there's the auto aim that after you kill someone, it automatically toggles to the next closest player's head hitbox, or wherever it's set to hit.
All right, all right. Limeck, if you can get those screenshots up, and Casser, go ahead, take it away.
All right, the first screenshot here, if we're looking at the same one, is not so obvious. It's someone jumping in front of someone's screen, and the only really obvious hack here is a crosshair hack, which pretty much just shows a solid X crosshair right in the center of the screen. Sometimes that's easily looked over by players because people are looking for green bodies or no sky or something like that. This is one of the less obvious ones, so this is easily looked over upon by clans. The next one is another not so obvious one. You can see a name tag in the distance, but above the name tag is actually the commander symbol. That does not show normally for players when they're on another team, so that's how you know that that's in hack. And also, he doesn't look like it's necessarily centered on the screen. So, and the next one, it's really obvious. He's looking through a fence. You can see the enemy squad leader symbol. You can also see the enemy commander symbol, as well as pretty much the entire team's red tags above their name. Alright, the next one is one that is very easily missed. It's pretty much a red line that shows where the enemy is. And it can be looked over. Some people think it's just a graphic glitch, but I can assure you it is not. It's showing that there's an enemy player through that wall, and that is where the enemy is, and it moves to wherever the enemy moves. The next one, it pretty much just shows black screen. Black screen is another hack that's pretty popular. It's not exactly a huge advantage, but it is an advantage in the fact that you can see stuff that's maybe up on a catwalk easier on top of a building. And the final screenshot is a screenshot of a no fog hack. It's actually not from someone's screen. It's from, looks like a spectator view, but you can see that there is no fog anywhere on that map. It looks like that's EU base and ruins of Camp Gibraltar. And that's about as far as I got as screenshots. Does anyone have any questions?
Well, one of the things that there's a myth out there about black screenies. I don't know if there's any true definition on explanation on that, Cassio, but I mean, can you kind of put that myth to bed on the black screenies? Is that technically a hack, or when you go into the server and get those, what does that really mean?
There's actually a lot of different things it can mean. One, Vista has been known to cause black screenshot errors, as well as being alt-tabbed. Usually, though, when you're alt-tabbed, it doesn't come up as a B1 screenshot, which if you look at the screenshots, it shows on the upper text bar of the screenshot, it's usually a B0 and it shows screenshot failed. And then, I mean, there is the screenshot blocker, but just because you get black screenshots, it's enough to raise suspicion when it's constant, but it's not enough to prosecute for hacks.
No, I know that one player that was banned from TGL, Moser, had a lot of black screenshots consecutively. Is that normal to get him consecutively in a server? Because I know there's been instances where a lot of servers, some do show everything and some do come up black. Is it because of the settings they're not set up correctly?
I wouldn't say it's the settings. I mean, again, Punkbuster screenshots aren't exactly the most reliable source for catching hackers. I mean, they are accurate in the fact what you see is what they're showing on the screen, but there's obviously a lot of glitches with the Punkbuster screenshots that can cause it.
Now, this is just basically your opinion. How prevalent is hacking in 2142 compared to like other games, Call of Duty, Counter-Strike Source? Is it up there, or is it just not as popular as maybe those games?
Honestly, in 2142, it's not anywhere near as a problem as it is in the more popular first-person shooter series such as Counter-Strike or Call of Duty. Call of Duty and Counter-Strike are obviously much more popular games than the Battlefield series, therefore there's a lot more players and a lot more money to be made by the hacking community to make these hacks and sell them. So I would say, I mean, again, it's my just opinion, but I would say that maybe at most 5 to 10% there's hackers in the community. It's really hard to say.
Right. Appreciate that. Any of you guys in the channel have any questions for Cassio? And real quick, if you guys want to X-Fire a question, really quick, X-Fire me at Anger, O-N-E, the number 5, the number 6, the number 2. If you have any questions really quick for Cassio, I can only get a couple, so hopefully you can shoot those to me if you have them. Just real quick, anybody in the channel have any questions for Cassio?
Yeah, Cass, have you ever seen anything as blatant as the OMG thing? That was actually the first match that I played with Hot In, and we were down by like 40 tickets that first round. We still 2-0'd them, but it is frustrating playing, against even one player, but I mean, when the whole team is doing that, it's just nuts. I know there's a lot more traffic over at TWL. Do you have anything like as huge and blatant as that, like a whole team doing anything?
Well, 2142 is my first game as an AC admin, so I can't say I've ever seen a demo where the entire team's hacking, but I have seen some pretty blatant screenshots of players with like shams on and different colored bodies and wireframe textures and stuff. It can get pretty crazy, all these hacks that they have out for it. I actually would like to add something else. A lot of teams, I don't think, look over their screenshots on their servers. I think it's sometimes not known or just forgotten by teams. So if you go into your FTP of your server, it's in the PB folder, and then inside that folder there's an SVSS folder that you can go into there, and that's where your screenshots will be.
One of my last questions, as I was thinking about it right now, with fraps, how much to a science is it? I mean, is it something 100% with fraps, or is there any problems using fraps to try to catch hackers during a scrim or a match?
What do you mean, as far as having everyone on their team?
As true evidence. I mean, when you as an AC admin look at it, is it easy to see it as an admin to look at fraps and see certain aspects of a player and the things or tendencies that they do that may result to hacking?
Yes and no. I mean, fraps, obviously it shows exactly what whoever's recording is seeing, but in most cases, even if there is a clear video of hacking, the admins want to see a demo just to make sure that nothing was altered with or edited. I mean, it's unlikely, but it's just another ground we have to cover as admins.
Right. It's an extra tool, and that's, I mean, as for the community, if you know how to use that, and if you are suspicious, use it, fraps it, and see how it looks. Make come at every angle. I mean, is there any true way of doing it with fraps that it would help an admin to see things if they're frapsing?
What do you mean, as far as frapsing demos of teams you play?
Yeah, demos. Exactly, yes.
Well, I mean, we do accept demos in our email, but if you want to make a fraps video of some of the more blatant parts in the video, you want to try to get as close as possible to see gun movements, because a lot of times snapping can be easily spotted, and it's hard to explain, but I mean, just anything that out of the ordinary you think happened, I mean, nothing's going to hurt, so if you're suspicious, send it in, we'll look at it.
Roger that. I got a question from Sniper from Dago. He wants to ask, what's the best way to contact an admin?
The best way is probably IRC, but other than that, there's obviously Xfire. We usually, once you respond in Xfire, we usually tell you to go on IRC just because it's easier to keep logs and stuff like that. And then we also have an email. Mine is Cassio@teamwarfare.com, and we also have a staff email that goes to all of the 2142 staff, and that is, let me get it for you. Okay, I don't know what it is, but Cassio@teamwarfare.com works, and for each different league, I mean, it'll probably be at totalgamingleague.com or whatever. So I would say IRC or email are the best ways.
Roger. One of the last questions we have here is from an agent from SFR. He wants to ask you to clarify your 5 to 10% estimate. That seems awfully high, and I guess in agent's opinion. Is that pretty close to what your percentages are there, Cassio?
When I say 5 to 10%, I'm not talking about the competitive community, I'm talking about the entire community as far as pubbers go and everything. Punk's Bus did actually keep stats of how many banned players they have, and out of all the registered players on PSB, 0.13% have been banned, so it is a low percent in the competition, but when you're talking about the entire community of 2142, I would say somewhere around 5 to 10%.
All right, Cass, I appreciate it, man, coming on by. Very, very informative. We're going to head on over to Bamando, and I'm just going to let Bamando explain what he has. We have another video here, and we're going to let him talk about it right now and the information. Go ahead, Bamando.
Hey, yeah, I'll let Limek just sort of start rolling and describe exactly what I've compiled in this video. What I'm basically doing here is I see a lot of videos flying around from users, accusatory videos of other players, where they use examples of things like bullet groupings on Battle Recorder, where they've gone into a demo and they've recorded bullet groupings, and they've recorded things like what they think is toggling, as Casio spoke about, were snapping backwards and forwards. And I'm just trying to, basically I've compiled a video of what you would obviously call legit bullet groupings and legit quick movements of a player. I've got pretty much 3 sections in the video. I've got a section of bursting to show the difference between first-person bullet groupings and Battle Recorder bullet groupings, and a side-by-side comparison of
All right, welcome back to e-rev's coverage of 2142 Community News, and we apologize for the inconvenience. We had some minor difficulties there, but hopefully we didn't lose everybody. But for some of you that are still tuned in, we're going to start right back off with Bamando. I'm not exactly sure where the cast broke up there on Bamando's information, but we're just going to go right from the start. So Bamando, if you can just take it from where you from the start, we'll go with you, buddy. Let's go.
just going to run through a little Battle Recorder debunking scenario where we're going to show people the difference between Battle Recorder footage and in-game footage of bullet groupings specifically, and I'm going to basically place next to each other first-person action that was recorded directly through my eyes in-game, and Battle Recorder footage of the same situation, so that people can understand the comparisons of a legit bullet grouping on Battle Recorder. The point being is that the client-server model in Battlefield 2142 and the Battlefield engine in general doesn't record every single piece of data and relay it to every player. So one thing that people have been making a lot of noise about on their supposed hack videos is the bullet groupings that are appearing behind people when they get shot, saying how tight they are and that they must be using an aimbot or no recoil. So if Limek, you want to run that video, or are you already running that video?
Already running.
So basically, roger that. So basically you can see me, I've got 4 segments here. You can see me here take out Lyra from a large distance, and in first-person view you've seen the bullet groupings, including the deviation and how heavily spread out they were. In the second segment, where I've recorded it on Battle Recorder, I've played it back in slow motion, and you can actually see how razor sharp the bullet groupings are of the exact same shot in Battle Recorder. The point we're really getting at here with this scenario is that that Battle Recorder actually only records the direction that your gun was facing at the time, and it records recoil, so it records where the bullet hits. It doesn't record deviation, whereas the game client puts deviation in for you when you're doing the firing. So just for sort of those novice Battle Recorder hack catching freaks out there, this is a really good informative video for you guys to check out and run through to realize the difference between someone who's got a lot of spread in a video and someone who doesn't have a lot. The second part here is a side-by-side comparison showing the client-server model. Now this isn't Battle Recorder, but it does show me personally firing into a wall or into a truck, and how high my deviation is as I keep my finger down. Then we cross over to another player who's standing directly next to me, who does exactly the same thing, and you see how tight his groupings are, because basically what it's doing is recording his recoil, but it's not recording his deviation, and it's not relaying his deviation back to me to save on bandwidth. That's pretty much the point of this this video, is to show, you know, exactly the difference between, let's take, for example, someone who is using no recoil. If you watch them back on Battle Recorder, their bullets will hit exactly the same hole repeatedly over and over again. So that is still a good way to identify someone who's using a no recoil hack. But as you saw, if you see someone like me firing, for example, and you see the bullet groupings that are tight but not razor sharp in the same hole, then you can pretty much assume that that guy is firing legit. Of course, there are other things to look at, just like Cassio spoke about the toggling, where you're flicking from one player to another. If people are honing in on a player and swapping from one to the next after one player dies, they're all things to look for. We're just trying to, I guess, clarify and debunk some of the more exaggerated bullet grouping mysteries that people are coming to. I think we're almost at the end of that video. I'll cover the third part of that video as well, where I pretty much went prone after I killed somebody and spun around really quickly with the mouse. That was just an idea to give you an example of a legitimate quick spin or a legitimate turnaround by somebody, and how you can actually see that the game, you will be able to see the frames in between when somebody moves. A true toggle, or a true sort of move on someone when they do toggle, that's instantaneous. You won't see any interpolation between one area and the next. So if a player turns, you won't see the intermediate parts of the turn. The player model will instantly flick from one player to the next. So that's another good identifying feature. And that's pretty much all I wanted to cover with that one. That should have finished the video off. Again, if anyone has any questions, I'm happy to answer them on Xfire through Anger or directly to me. But I think that pretty much covers it.
All right, real quick, Bamando, if you want to give out your Xfire in case people want to have questions for you and talk directly offline with you about that, go ahead and give your Xfire.
It's pretty straightforward, just Bamando, that's commando with a B. That's it.
All right, I appreciate all that information, and hopefully that helps people, and maybe puzzling to some extent, but I'm sure they'll Xfire you with some questions. Now to our next subject here, or our next topic. I'm going to be interviewing a hacker here. Now, I must admit, I'm no Dan Rather or Tom Brokaw or anything like that, so I apologize for that. But this is just a quick 7-minute interview. He's going by the name of No Name, and he is the originator of this red line hack that Cassio was talking about, at least the so-called originator. So we're going to go into that interview right now, and again, we're not trying to promote hackers, but really what this is just to try to dive into the mind a little bit, to see why he does it and what kind of thrills he does get out of it. So hopefully you enjoy this, and hopefully Limit can do it right about now. Good evening, and this is Anger from Electronic Revolution Broadcasting Network. Alongside with me will be Limit doing the recording. Today we're going to be doing a particular subject here in Hacking Matters. Right now we have a gentleman here that still is proclaiming he is still hacking in particular competitive games and first-person shooters and different style of RPSs and stuff like that. Tonight he's going to go under an alias. His name will be tonight No Name. How you doing tonight, No Name?
Alright.
Alright, well, basically we're going to just jump right into this interview, and if you can tell us just a little bit about yourself and maybe some computer background experience, if any.
Army medic, pre-nursing degree, associates, almost, and computer background. I will be getting my A+ certification soon. And that's it.
Alright, right on. Alright, well, let's just jump right into the questioning. When did you first start hacking anyway, No Name?
I started with Halo, but it wasn't in a bad way. I was just modding,
What do you mean modding?
creating maps.
Now, are those particular, like when you say mods for that game, is it a hack or is it just I'm trying to separate those two and see, what the difference is.
I was just creating maps. They weren't like the other clients had the same map.
Oh, okay. I mean, why did you ever start doing that or creating the mods? I mean, what did it give you a better advantage, or why did you get into that?
To make the game funner.
Did it achieve that?
Yep.
Was it more of a mass, you get more kills and stuff like more frags? Is that why you came to this?
No, it was just for fun.
Now, what other games have you done since Halo?
Call of Duty 2, Battlefield 2, Counter-Strike Source, Fear, and done some stuff on a new game called Soldier Front.
Okay. Have you ever been banned from any of these games? Or I know like they have Punk Buster or anything. Have you ever been on their listings before?
Yes, I have been banned by Punk Buster one time.
Okay, and that was for what particular game was that?
Battlefield 2.
So right now, when you say you were doing like Counter-Strike Source and Call of Duty, these particular games obviously haven't caught you yet. Are you just like way ahead of the curve when it comes to, like, for instance, you have all the anti-cheat software, at least from Punk Buster. Basically, you're just way ahead of the curve then on what you have.
I wouldn't say that. I don't touch any of the anti-cheats code at all.
So
I've learned that there's always 10 different ways to do something.
Could you explain a little bit better? If you don't mess with the anti-cheat software, how do you achieve your goals in what you do?
Just by different ways to modify the memory or hook the function or whatever I'm trying to, gain access to.
Oh, I see. Okay. Now, with these games, have you achieved this is it mostly just pub play, or have you ever done this in competition play before, in the present or in the past?
Nope, I've never cheated in competition play.
When was the last time you did competition play, and for what game?
I did competition in BF2, and I was banned.
I see. Do you ever feel like, when it comes to hacks and stuff, do you make your own? Because I know you were talking about the mods, that you make your own mods, but when it comes to the hacks itself, do you make them yourself, or do you buy them from particular sites, or how do you get that?
I make my own.
Is it something... Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
There's a lot of information. There's a lot of information everywhere, so to help you learn and develop.
I see. Is it something that you do yourself, or do you have aliases with your helpers that help you with the coding and stuff like that for these particular hacks/mods?
Oh yeah, there's so much information out there that you could you could basically just take the information, post it, and do your own thing.
Now, is this something you mainly do by yourself, or is there a group that you associate with that you try to bypass and with the games and try to bypass their codes and stuff, or is it just mainly by yourself?
Most of the time it's by myself, but in some games, if I find other cheaters who are trying to accomplish the same thing, we work together.
Now, I know you were saying it before when you did Halo, it was more for fun. Is it just for more of a, to see if you get caught, to see how far you can go with it? Or, because again, you were saying that sometimes you have aliases with you doing this, and is it something that, you know, you just try to get past all the Punk Buster stuff and EA and all that stuff?
I don't think it's that. I think we just do it for fun.
I see. Do you ever feel guilty about it or anything like that? I mean, I know it's just for fun, but I mean, do you ever feel guilty knowing that you're cheating for the skill?
Nope, I never feel guilty.
Do you ever feel like sometimes you ever think to yourself that you feel like stopping or anything like that?
Occasionally, if, you know, I'm about to get kicked from the server or something.
Right, right. The mods that you use, are they pretty easy to detect from like a, you know, regular person or anti-cheat admin that can view this stuff? Or is it, like we were talking earlier, that you're kind of ahead of the curve? It's something that they can't catch, you know, from like, you know, like anti-cheat admins and such?
Oh, everything can be detected.
All right, No Name, I really appreciate you coming by and taking the time out of your schedule to do this interview. Again, thanks for coming by. And just this last note, you know, with gaming becoming as popular as ever with the PC mods, you know, with competition gaming and just regular pub playing, you know, cheats have been really active lately, and you can pretty much buy them anywhere and make your own. But hopefully that as a community we can police ourselves and try to prevent this this hacking stuff and modding, you know, as best we can. And that's only if as a community we know exactly what we're looking for and how we're looking for it. And again, I appreciate No Name coming by and at least giving us his description on why he does it and, you know, when he does it, and, you know, so we appreciate him coming by. So, you know, again, this is Anger alongside with Limek for the Electronic Revolution Broadcasting Network. All right, we're back now, and hopefully you enjoyed that interview there with No Name, and he is the self-proclaimed writer of the Red Line, I guess, hack or mod. So we'll see. I hope you enjoyed that. Again, I'm no Dan Rather, so I apologize about the interviewing skills there. So, but nevertheless, I hope you enjoyed that. Pretty much, I hope this information was useful to a lot of you. It was for me listening to this, and again, I appreciate Casio and Bamando giving us a lot of information and explanation of what they do and what they see. And right now, we're going to kind of end that portion, and we're going to talk right now to Eagle Eyes and JC Moncur from the Public Enemy. And what's going on with the Public Enemy is that they're doing their own tournament. Actually, this is their second annual tournament. And Eagle Eyes or JC, either of you, which one wants to take the lead on this? You guys can talk about your tournament.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and start. We did our last one in April. We had 8 teams. Kind of went out for the first one at least and invited people that we played in TWL. Tried to keep it pretty much more for fun. You know, the money is there, but it's more as an incentive to just get teams interested. The second one, we tried to basically make it better. The winning, or the amount of money you can earn and win this time is almost 3 times, I guess, from the first. But the biggest thing really is just to make it fun. Invited a lot of teams that we didn't invite. Pretty much, I guess you could say, the best teams we didn't invite. Sorry, Casio, Rival, NGA, 20ID. Hot, Mad. We do have Hot 5, but not Hot. Trying basically to keep it for competitive teams, like, I guess you could say, like our team. You know, we're not the best team in the world. We compete or whatever, but teams that aren't pro, teams that won't come in and sweep it. it's just really just something to make the game a little bit more exciting. I know everybody's going around. The rumor is the game is dead. I don't personally feel that way because I don't think Quake Wars has got what it takes to pull everybody. Just maybe some last flings. I mean, if we can keep it going and cool, if we can keep grabbing more and more teams, I mean, we can do another one. That'd be awesome. But the details for this one, 18th of August is the set date. It's going to start at 7 p.m. Eastern. That may change. We'll talk with all the teams that register. We're currently at 13 teams. It's a single elimination tournament. Entry fee is $27. In total, there will be 4 rounds. I don't know if I mentioned it before, but 16 teams. We have 3 spots left right now. I got quite a few teams that have given me through Xfire or whatever private message on their site, hey, we're going to do it. But I mean, it's first come, first serve. So next 3 teams that register, we're good to go. We'll lock it. I'll pull teams from a hat. We'll set up on a bracket. It'll be posted, and we're good to go. And thanks to e-rev, we'll have a little bit of publicity there. And I believe you guys, if it still stands, are going to pick a one match from each round, so that'll be interesting. But
one thing I would say that Eagles didn't mention was the other idea behind our tournament was we wanted to kind of give back to the community. We take advantage of the TWL League, and you get to join and play, and you don't have to pay to get in that. And we've made a lot of friends in the community by competing one to another, and we kind of wanted to give that back to the people we play with and against. And it's like you said, a lot of times people, they go after the competition, and it almost seems like work. You almost come on here and we play these games for fun, and we want to give some of the fun back to it, and really have a good time with it. And that's really our idea behind this.
Right on. What was the date on that, guys, again? And what are the prizes, just to let Phil and the people real quick?
it's going to be the 18th of August. The current start time is set for 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm working with some sponsors. I'm trying to get really any sponsor out there. I've hit up a few of them, no replies yet, so we'll see. But right now it's all based off of the entry fee money, and then we've kind of donated $100 to second place. First place team will win $400, and the second place will win $100. I'll let anybody, I'll let everybody know if something else comes along. We were hoping to have this tournament free entry. It didn't work out that way. Maybe one day for maybe this game or another, we'll see. But and if I can, I'll throw in my other little bit. My plan after this is to have a deathmatch tournament, and that'll be free of charge and pretty much open to everybody. Even 20 millimeter out there, one of our buddies, currently the first place shotgunner, but hey, we'll bring him in anyway. You can check our site for both tournaments, so thepublicenemy.net.
By the way, that's a shotgun death match tournament we're trying to put on for fun.
Yeah, I think it'll be pretty cool. Basically 32 people on one side and team killing. But yeah, first person to reach, I think we're going to do like negative 300 points, and then the round be over. The top 4 move on. Hopefully 4 different servers going of 32 players. So.
Real quick, besides the website, how else can they get a hold of you? You got expires you can give out?
Yep.
Yeah, definitely. Mine is Eagle's Eye, pretty simple. And I'll let JC hit it out.
Mine is JC Monker. That's my X-Fire. You can hit me up as well.
I leave mine open pretty much 24/7. I mean, you guys can come on the website or hit me up on Xfire. Any questions? I've got quite a few through Xfire, and keep them coming. Just need 3 more teams, man. So hit it up. $27 ain't no thing.
All right, guys. I really appreciate you coming by. Just really quick, before we end this portion, we're going to get into one more interview. Well, let's just get to that right now. We have e-rev Shanks right now in the channel, and he's going to talk about World in Conflict right now. He's going to do a little quick interview and give some information out on the new World in Conflict beta. Some of you have seen it here right on e-rev TV, but he's going to give some information. So Shanks, why don't you take that away?
All right, thanks, Anger. Appreciate you guys having me on board your news show tonight. It's been really entertaining watching your first installment of this news. I've been watching it all night, and it's been very informative. So, again, thanks for having me on. A couple things I wanted to bring up is, number one, thanks for all you viewers out there tuning into the cast tonight. We wouldn't be here if we couldn't entertain anybody. We're not doing this for just anybody. We're doing it for you, the viewers. Before I even get any further, I'll introduce myself. I'm Shanks. I'm the marketing director for Electronic Revolution Broadcasting Network. I'm also a caster for Call of Duty 2. I guess the voice maybe comes through on that, but yeah, as far as World of Conflict goes, I just kind of want to give a pitch for all you gamers out there. We're covering a big up-and-coming game called World in Conflict. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a real-time strategy game. Now, it's not the regular real-time strategy game that you're thinking of. It's a real-deal battle game out there. It's done by Massive Entertainment, and we got our third installment of video coming tomorrow night. We're starting at 9 Eastern. We have some interviews beforehand. In fact, we got Martin Hultberg, the community manager from Massive Entertainment. This is the maker of the game. We have the maker of World in Conflict coming on board. We're going to be interviewing him, having him answer some questions about what his game's all about and what to expect from it, as well as Airborne from My Internet Services. They run the Total World in Conflict site, which is basically a war simulation. So if you guys are looking for something different out there, tune in tomorrow night. We really got some cool stuff to show you, and we'd love to have you guys on board. Even if you are 2142 players out there, it's really something new and fresh out there. In fact, World in Conflict is now a headline game for the CPL, which is coming up towards the end of August. So, yeah, that was basically why I wanted to come on board to give you a pitch for tomorrow night to tune in and check it out, because the beta's out there. It's closing at the end of the month, and we're out there playing it. We're out there casting it. We're the only ones doing it. And you can download it right now. In fact, if you go to worldinconflict.com, the beta is still good for a couple days. Download it, try it out, see what you think, because it's really going to be a big game out there. They've won a bunch of awards as far as the best strategy game of E3, the big gaming conference out there. They won the best strategy game by IGN, the best strategy game by GameSpot. So they're winning a lot of awards, and we'd like you, as the viewers, to get on board with us, watch it, maybe even buy it when it comes out. We'll probably be handing out free games and whatnot. But again, I don't want to take up too much of your time, Anger, and the rest of the 2142 crew. Great job again tonight, guys, and I bid you farewell.
All right, Shanks, we really appreciate that. And again, that's World in Conflict. Make sure you get that game. If you can't get it on beta, make sure you pick it up at any store or download it. I've played it many times, and along with my team, and it's very entertaining, very fun. And hell, when you drop a nuke on somebody, that's always entertaining, right, Fatty?
Oh yeah, that game's sick. I love that game. I'm probably gonna move to that next, since Quake Wars is trash. Anyways, but yeah, dude, definitely go out and get World in Conflict when it comes out. Try and get in the beta now. That game's hella fun. I love putting infantry in the trees and just raping tanks as they try and come by.
Yeah, no doubt. Real quick, before we end this cast, I just want to give everybody a chance to say whatever's on your mind. Bamando, Cornut, before we go. Strider, anybody want to take it?
Yeah, I just wanted to, I haven't actually played the World in Conflict, but I did watch one of the casts that e-rev did of one of the matches, and I'd tell you what, I'll definitely be tuning in tomorrow. It looks like a great game. I mean, I love how, there'll be a lot of battles going on, then all of a sudden the nuke comes and then it's just silence, I mean, it really isn't the typical strategy type game. You know, those of you out there are probably thinking you might really want to tune in tomorrow. Just check it out, see what it's like. That game is insane. There's a lot of battles. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, there is a lot of action going on, and I give the cameraman credit for chasing around all that action because there is so much going on. But basically, we're just going to come to an end right now. But on my closing words, though, you know, we try our hardest here to give you, the community, something to watch besides cast, and this is our first installment. And our next one we'll be doing, once the brackets are set for playoffs, we'll be doing an open forum where we'll have some players from each team talking about the playoff matchups and the seedings. We'll have that within probably a couple weeks once the seedings come up for TGL. But really, I just wanted to get this cast together to give you, the people out there, some information about hacking, especially with all this going on in the 2142 community as of late. You know, with all the accusations and the bans and whatnot. I just hope this was informative. And again, you know, you might try to, you know, clown us on it, but we're trying. We're trying to give something back to the community. And everybody on here came on their free time. Everybody does this on their own. No one gets paid for this. So again, I like to appreciate Casio for helping us out, but Mando with his videos, especially Limerick, and pretty much everybody in this channel, Eagle's Eyes, JC with their TPE tournament. We also have Strider coming in, Shanks coming in telling us about World in Conflict, Fat Sacks, and CERN with his prediction, and also Baron. You know, without everybody here as a team, you wouldn't have got this cast. And again, we hope you enjoyed it. I hope it, again, helps you guys. And tune in for our cast tomorrow night for TGL 8v8 action, and also TGL 6v6 action on Tuesday. Both will be starting at 10:30 Eastern. So, and our pregame show will be at 10 o'clock Eastern for both nights. So make sure you tune in for that. So on that ending note, anybody have any closing words?
Yeah, what about JC's little spiel?
Oh yeah, JC, go ahead, shoot it. This is for the community out there, okay?
Just a little heads up for the community, guys. You know, a lot of people out there, they don't do a lot of work to find those hackers and cheaters, and really the people that you need to rely on are yourselves and the administrators of the servers that you play on. They need to police their own servers, make sure the screenshots are being taken of those suspicious players and whatnot. And so, you know, really, it's not up to Punkbuster, it's not up to Casio at TWL, it's up to you, the people. If you want a clean playing environment, you need to be the ones to take the initiative and do what it takes to catch the cheaters.
Yeah, I couldn't say it any better than that, JC. I mean, again, this is for the community to help try to prevent hacking. I know there's no way to act direct science to stop it, but at least as a community, we can try to prevent it as much as we can. Because again, I mean, you can download hacks, and download skill, but I know there's a lot of teams and a lot of individuals that put a lot of time into this game with practicing and scrimming and whatnot. And it just sucks when people just, you know, can just pay a little money and download something. So again, community, you're doing good. Just keep up the good work. Go ahead, Fatty.
And a little disclaimer here. There's been a lot of talk of witch hunts and everything. That's not what we're trying to promote here. We're just trying to promote people policing the community, because hacking has been a huge problem in the community, and it's starting to become a problem in the competitive, at least the competitive 2142. I hear a lot about it being a problem in Counter-Strike Source and all that. So this whole cast was to help inform the community of what you can do to help this this plague that we have in our gaming community. So, but we're not trying to start witch hunts and start accusations every day about this guy and this guy. If you get this information, if you catch somebody that looks suspect, send it to an anti-cheat admin. Let them deal with it. Okay?
All right. Before we go, Shanks has one more thing. Go ahead, Shanks.
Yeah, I wish I would have got it in on the on my closing comments, but again, thanks for having me on board. But hey, we need you as the viewer. We need your help. We need you to get on IRC. It's going to be pound E-rev on the Game Surge Network. We need you to idle and perform that channel. Be a part of this community. If you want to see more news, you want to see more games, you want to see more big action from us, get on IRC. Get on our forums. Our forums are located on www.e-rev.tv/forums. Get registered, get active, and that's the best thing you can do to help us out as far as making us succeed as an organization. And yeah, that's about it. But you know, work with us here. Get on IRC, get on our forums, and get active, guys.
Yeah, thanks again, Shanks, on that. I swear, man, you have such a great voice, man. You could probably sell an ice cube to an Eskimo, buddy.
Thanks.
All right, man. Well, one more thing before Limek, he apologizes for the stream going down. So on his behalf, and again, you know, we thank you guys for staying tuned into e-rev for this. And on that, I'd like to say good night. Hope you enjoy it for the Electronic Revolution Broadcasting Network 2142 casters and video techs. We'd like to say good night.